Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video for you guys, and this is going to be a Q&A, which I did say I was going to do, so yeah, it's here. Now obviously you will be noticing we got a bit of a new setup here, so this is basically going to stay the same. There might be like little changes, like you might notice like little things moving and stuff like that, but for the most part it's going to be the exact same. And I am not too sure like how often I'm going to be using this. Like when I have the time, I'll do videos like this, which a lot of people have been asking for. There's been also people saying don't do it. But for my channel to improve and excel, I can't just keep doing the same like format of video. If that's the format of video where it's just my voice and some pictures and stuff, I have to improve the channel. So if you are one of those people that's like whinging about, oh, don't show your face and just show pictures and stuff like that, well, I'm sorry, but this is how I'm improving the channel, so hopefully you'll like learn to deal with it, I guess. And also if you do want me to go like through everything I have in the background and stuff over there as well in more detail, I might do a setup video, but let me know in the comments section down below if you would like to see that, I guess. Now obviously, as I said, this is a question and answer video. We'll get into the questions in a sec. I know you're probably wondering what's taking so long, but if you do want to leave any more questions in the comments section down below for my next one, which I might do this like every 2 weeks, maybe between like a week and 2 weeks up until the show start, because, you know, it gives me another video to do. We'll let you guys interact with me, ask questions that I might not necessarily do a specific video on. So it allows you to answer or ask questions like that. But yeah, just leave them all in the comment section down below and I'll come back to this video and pick out questions for another video or Q&A video in the future. And also leave a like on the video just to show your support for it, because that always helps. But as per usual, I am chucking on the Clark Kent glasses because I need them to read, because my eyesight is not that bad. I need it when I read stuff, especially off like pages and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into the questions. And the first question comes from Silver Maverick, and he asks, "Yo Pagey, do you watch Scares?" And to answer that question, yes, but only for fashion tips. Okay, I'm not wearing this for the rest of the video. Way too hot. Ugh. Okay, the next question, question 2, comes from Nathan Thomas, and he asks, "Do you think that in the last ever Flash episode, he will run so fast that he becomes the lightning bolt that hit him?" Now, this has actually been a theory that's not necessarily been around for ages. I think people started talking about it maybe towards the end of season 2, maybe leading into season 3. And it's actually an interesting one because I think if you go back and watch, it's either the Arrow episode where Barry's introduced, or it's the pilot episode for Flash. So season 1, episode 1 of Flash. When the lightning bolt hits, apparently you can hear screaming, and it's not Barry getting hit because he's like, so he would be screaming before he's actually hit by the lightning bolt. So when the lightning bolt's actually coming down, you can hear screaming. I've gone back and watched it. You can sort of hear something. I don't know. I think they'd have to set that up like really well for them to do it. It'd be really random if it was just like forced in. So if they did it, I guess it would be cool, but it'd have to work. It'd have to make sense. Like how would Barry end up getting into that situation? So we'd have to wait and see. Obviously, we don't know how long Flash is going to go in regards to his show. Like we don't know if Barry's going to leave and Wally will become the Flash. Like if Grant Gustin decides to leave the show, we don't know what's going to happen there. So it would be cool to see. I just don't necessarily know how they would set it up correctly and for it to, you know, make sense and actually work on the show. Question 3 comes from the DC TV show, and he asks, "What do you think the Samurai's true motive to want to capture the Flash is?" I guess. I think I forgot to write down a word. Obviously he's talking about the Samuroid, which is like that like robot samurai thing in the trailer. And I think it's probably just like a pawn controlled by the Thinker. Because I think what's going to happen in like the opening episodes of The Flash is that people will appear and they'll be after the Flash or Team Flash in general, but it's actually the Thinker that's in control of them. And then maybe in like episode 5 or 6, which is generally the episode where we get full on introduced to the villain for the season, or like just like a tease at them, like a big tease. So it'll probably be episode 5 or episode 6 where we'll probably meet the Thinker and we'll learn what he's been up to and what he's planning to do for the rest of the season. Question 4 comes from Cara McBride, and she asks, Marvel or DC and why? And you should know this. I'm a DC fanboy, and it's not necessarily just because I don't like Marvel. I like Marvel. I go watch all their movies most of the time on the first day that they're out. I think the only movie I didn't see a first day this year, or recently for a Marvel movie, was Guardians. I didn't see that until like 2 weeks until after it had been out in cinemas. Sorry if you can hear a fly in the background. It's really annoying me, and I do not know where it is. I think it's behind my blind somewhere, but it's really loud. Anyway, sorry if you can hear that, but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was like the first Marvel movie I don't think I'd seen on opening day for a while. I can't remember the last one. Honestly, it could have been Guardians of the Galaxy 1, like the first one. I think I saw that maybe on the weekend it came out instead of the first day, but yeah, I usually go see the Marvel movie straight away. I watch most of the Marvel shows, so I like Marvel. It's just that I prefer DC. I just like the way that DC is done, so yeah. The next question, which is question 5, comes from Shane. I think I've written almost like share, like share some chocolate, but Shane Hutch, and he goes, how tall are you? What's your shoe size and favorite shoe brand? I am 6'1" and a third, so that's like 187 centimeters. I'm just over 187 centimeters, so that means I'm just over 6'1" and a third, if that makes sense. My shoe size, I am a 12 or 13 depending on the brand, because some brands have like different sizes. It's weird. It can be really annoying and really dangerous when you're trying to buy shoes online, so it's better to go into the shop in that case. And my favorite shoe brand, probably Converse. I wear a lot of Converse or Adidas. That's probably the shoe brands I wear the most. I wear Nikes every now and then as well, but Converse and Adidas probably. Question 6 comes from Omar Ahmed, and he goes, what's your favourite season? Now, he didn't specify a show, so with Flash, it's probably I think Flash season 1's the best when you first watch it, but it loses a lot of rewatchability. I think season 2 is a more rewatchable season of The Flash. With Arrow, it's still season 2 just because the flashbacks are really good, as well as the current day story. And then with Legends and Supergirl, both of their season 2s are better than their season 1, but with Supergirl, that's not necessarily saying much because their season 2 still did struggle. And I think Legends season 2 was actually very good. Like, that was probably the most improved show out of any show really I watched last year. Or last seasons, might I say. Legends was very good. Question 7 comes from, I've lost my space. Jason Pizzle, and he goes, what TV shows do you watch? Well, obviously, the DC TV ones, which includes like Gotham and stuff. I watch shows like Fargo, The Leftovers, which is... Everyone talks about Game of Thrones being the best show on TV. I watch Game of Thrones as well. Don't worry. Game of Thrones is people who don't watch TV's favourite TV show, if that makes sense. Like, if you watch other TV shows, like if you have like maybe like 10 other shows that you watch, Game of Thrones, I'd be surprised if Game of Thrones is your best in regards to quality. It's good. It's good, but I do think it's slightly overrated. Leftovers, I think, is one of the most perfect TV shows you'll ever watch. If you haven't watched it, it's not for everyone. I'm not going to spoil like what its undertone is and like what it's really going for, because I can spoil certain things that happen in the show. But it's such a good show. I highly recommend watching that. Fargo is very good. The guy that played Ares in Wonder Woman is in Fargo this season. I used to watch Walking Dead, but I've dropped off that. Walking Dead it's just annoying to watch. Like, it's just an annoying TV show to watch. That's all I can really say about Walking Dead. And a show I love to watch. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably see me retweeting stuff about it all the time. American Crime Story as well. I think the new season for that comes out soon as well. But they did the O.J. Simpson one for season 1, which was obviously won heaps of awards. But American Horror Story it's a show I get most excited to watch every time there's a new season, just because I think it's just such a fun show to watch. I'm actually rewatching it at the moment. I only started rewatching it last week, and I'm already up to season 4. And I think I watched like 5 episodes of season 4 last night. It's just, I love watching it. You should watch it if you have not watched it. Look up stuff on YouTube. Don't let the title scare you away. Just because it's called American Horror Story, it's not scary, okay? It's more creepy and more like messes with your head more than anything. I don't think there's actually any major scary things. The actual scariest season was season 6, because they actually went for full-on horror, like a lot of jump scares in that season. Like that season actually like legitimately scared me. I was scared watching the episodes, and with the other seasons I wasn't really. Like there's maybe like a handful of moments which are actually scary. But watch that show, watch Leftovers, watch Fargo and stuff if you want other shows to watch while you're in this break, while we're waiting for all the DC TV shows to come back. Question 8, the next question comes from Mo54321 Man U, and he goes, do you think there is a chance of Slade's son being Vigilante? I've seen this a lot, and I don't know where this theory comes from. It's the strangest one I've ever seen. He wouldn't, if he's talking about the one from the future, I don't think he'd even be born yet, or he'd be like, I don't know, I don't think he'd even be born yet. Like the one that we saw in Legends of Tomorrow in season 1. And then if he's talking about the son that's referenced all the time in season 2, and that, you know, obviously referenced again at the end of season 5, and it looks like we actually are getting a version of Slade Wilson's son in season 6, they wouldn't be old enough to be Vigilante. It'd be weird. And also, they have said that Vigilante is someone that we've seen before. So when they take off the mask, we're like, oh, it's you. It's like a Scooby-Doo reveal. Like, oh, you dastard, you menacing, or whatever they say in Scooby-Doo. But it's someone that we've seen before. So a lot of the big one is Captain Pike is probably Vigilante. Who knows who it could be? Like Huntress could be Vigilante, stuff like that. So it's someone that we've seen before. So if it's like a character that's coming in this season that we haven't seen before on the show, they're not Vigilante. Like a lot of people saying, oh, Richard Dragon's going to be Vigilante. Or Michael Emerson, who's coming onto the show, is going to be Vigilante. No, because we haven't seen them on the show before. So yeah, Vigilante is someone we've seen before, so don't theorize about like new characters being this character. The next question comes from, which is question 9, comes from Potato Bro Potato, okay? And they went, what's your favourite comic book? Now by this I mean, maybe they mean comic book run or storyline, I don't know. In regards to like a universe-wide event, it's tied between Flashpoint and Blackest Night. Those two events are very, very good reads. I highly suggest you. I'm sure a decent amount of you would have read Flashpoint, but if you read the whole Flashpoint universe stuff like that, with all like the surrounding stories, like the Batman storyline, like what is Thomas Wayne Batman doing in Flashpoint? What is Green Lantern and all that doing? Like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, all that, all the different characters and stuff in the Flashpoint universe. When you read all of those together, it's actually a really good read, especially Batman. I think it's Night of Vengeance or Knights of Vengeance, one of the two. That's a really good read because you get more in-depth story with the Martha Wayne Joker and stuff that isn't in the animated movie, that isn't in just the normal Flashpoint comic, which actually I'm pointing at it, you can't see it. It just goes more in depth. Blackest Night is good as well. That's the Green Lantern storyline. But in regards to like just like a singular story, which is all in one book, you don't have to like buy like 10 different books. Probably Hush, Batman, like Batman Hush, that's really good. I'd love to see that turn into a movie, but yeah, that's my answer to that question. The next question, which is question 10, good old 1-0, comes from Goalie Gar, and he goes, what's your favourite soccer team and what do you play on FIFA? My soccer team that I follow, or football team, is Arsenal, aka Heart Attack FC, because if you know the EPL, you know what I'm talking about. And what do I play on FIFA? Mainly Ultimate Team, but I do play pro clubs every now and then when I do have some friends on, and that's always fun, playing some pro clubs, because it's either really exciting or really frustrating, one of the two. There's no middle ground when you're playing pro clubs. Question 11 comes from Papa Chase 1117, and he goes, do you like Hot Pockets? And I don't think they're a thing in Australia. I don't think they're really a thing. If they are, they're not very big. I know what they are. They're like sort of like a pizza pastry thing. It's like just like a sort of like a bread thing with like, you know, cheese and filling inside. I think we have stuff that's similar, not necessarily the same, just things that are similar. But in regards to Hot Pockets, they're not really a thing in Australia. If they are, you live in Australia and they actually aren't, I'm just being blindsided by it. Let me know, but I'm pretty sure they're not a big thing down here. Question 12 comes from Boy Wonder 1003, and he goes, who do you like more as a character, Kid Flash or Vibe? Vibe easily. If you really like Kid Flash in the show, I understand. I think he's decent, but you could take him out of the show and the show's the complete same. Like, it doesn't change at all. Take Wally out of the show and it's really not that different. While Vibe, or Cisco, I think has had one of the best storylines in the show. parallel, obviously, not parallel, but obviously apart from Barry, I think he's probably had the best storyline on the show. So yeah, easily Vibe. I think Cisco's very likable. Not saying that Kid Flash isn't likable, I'm just saying that if you took Wally West out of the show, it's basically the same. There's not much difference there. Question 13 comes from Old Man Pictures, and he goes, which version of Firestorm do you like better? Martin and Ronnie or Martin and Jefferson? And I think Martin and Jefferson, it's a bit unfair because we've spent so much more time with Martin and Jefferson than Martin and Ronnie. But I think even then, Martin and Jefferson just have like that banter. It's like funny watching them. But with Martin and Ronnie, there wasn't too much of that. There was some of it, but there wasn't a lot of it. But then again, I guess that could come down to the fact that we didn't spend too much time with them because they were really introduced in the middle to the back half, like when we really started spending more time with them, of the Flash, and they were really dealing with like Reverse Flash and stuff at that point, so they really couldn't shine. But with Martin and Jefferson, they've had 2 seasons on Legends of Tomorrow where they can, you know, shine and we can get to know them a bit more and spend more time with them. So it's a bit unfair, but yeah, Martin and Jefferson is my answer. Question 14 comes from Hinami, and they went, are you excited for the new Marvel TV shows like The Gifted, The Defenders, The Punisher, Inhumans? Are you going to watch them? Well, Defenders, when this video comes out, Defenders would have been out for about 12 hours. So I've hopefully watched maybe 3 or 4 of their episodes by the time this video is actually on YouTube. The Punisher, I think, comes out towards the end of the year. I might be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong with that. Inhumans starts soon. I think The Gifted starts soon. I'll give Inhumans a go. I'm not too sure about Inhumans or The Gifted. Inhumans actually doesn't look that good. I don't think it looks very good. The Gifted looks promising. It doesn't look like they want to show too much. Like they're trying to keep it as non-spoilerish as possible. But with the Inhumans, I think they've shown basically the whole first episode in like trailers and stuff like that, and it doesn't necessarily look that good. I think they just went, it's too much for a TV show. I just think it's too much. And it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes once it's like, you know, out of that IMAX hype, if that makes sense. I'll give The Gifted a go because it is X-Men. There is some familiar X-Men characters in that show. But yeah, Defenders and Punisher are definitely the 2 shows out of those 4 which I'm looking forward to the most. Question 15, and the second last question comes from Prometheus, not Prometheus, Prometheus. And they went, do you watch Riverdale? And the answer to that is yes. Do I think it's a really good show? It's a good show. I think the season 1 had a very strong start and a strong ending. The middle was a bit messy. The middle, I don't think it was that good. The biggest concern with Riverdale is that, as I said, they did have that middle part in season 1, which was a bit meh. And I think they only had 12 or 13 episodes. And in season 2, they're doing 22 episodes like Flash and Arrow do. And I don't know how they're going to do that. That's going to be interesting. The storyline must be like a big one if they're going to go that many episodes, because the storyline in season 1 wasn't like that intense. Like it actually had a lot of things going on there. It wasn't necessarily intense the whole way through, and they did struggle in that middle bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how season 2 plays out. I don't know if they're just going with the fact that people will watch it regardless of the quality, and so they'll get 22 episodes where they'll get 1 million viewers an episode on live TV, and they just don't really care about if the quality drops. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how season 2 plays out with that many episodes. And the last question from Anything Really? Anything Really? Yeah, I thought we might have said Anything Ready. Anything Really? And they went, do you think Teddy Sears will guest star for Arrow as part of Siren's backstory? And the answer to that is yes, with a question mark. And I say yes with a question mark because I think Zoom will be in that. If they do a backstory for Black Siren, which I hope they do, I really hope they do, just so we get some bridges, I guess, to where we picked up with Black Siren in the Flash season 2. I think if we get like Teddy Sears meeting with Black Siren in the backstory, it'll just be Zoom. So he'll have the mask on and he'll have the voice. So if anything, it would be I'm forgetting his name. Tony Todd, I think that's the guy's name that voices Zoom in season 2. We'll get him coming back and he'll just voice Zoom, and we actually won't see Teddy Sears, because the thing is, if you watch season 2 again, like Black Siren was probably the only member of Zoom's army, that knew his face. Like, he trusted her, but it was probably because she was scared. So he knew that she wouldn't tell anyone because he would kill her if she revealed who he was. So, because you remember, like, they're in that room and then he puts on the mask and stuff and walks out and is in front of everyone with the mask. So I don't think anyone else on Zoom's army knew who Zoom was apart from Black Siren. So I think if they're going to do a thing where they introduce Black Siren's backstory, it'll just be Zoom confronting Black Siren and recruiting her into his army, and it won't actually be Teddy Sears. Even though I would like to see Teddy Sears, I do just think it'll be Zoom with a mask on and Tony Todd's evil demonic voice thing. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on it just to show your support. I know it's probably been a long one, around 20+ minutes, but if you do have any other questions that I did not answer in this video that you would like in another Q&A video, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.